Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Did you know solving for x could be this easy? Let's dive into it. What does solving x even mean? Solving x means finding the value or values that make the equation true. That means they will give you an equation, they will ask you to solve x that make both the left hand side of the equation equal to the right hand side. And guess what? Solving for x questions typically stem from 4 types of equations. These are our linear equations, our quadratic equations, our exponential equations, and then our logarithmic equations. And remember, no matter how complicated these equations get, you're always doing the same thing. That is, you're finding the value or values that make the equation true, that makes the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. Let's solve for x for each type. For linear, if given 2x equals 4, and they ask us to solve x. So what they're asking us what number when we multiply by 2 equals 4, right? And we know 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4. So that means x equals 2. But this way is basically you are using trial and error. A better way is to use algebra. So if you're given 2x equals 4 and you need to solve x, remember the goal is to get the x alone. So we need to get rid of this 2. And how to do that is we divide by 2. And because we're dividing by 2 on the left hand side, we have to also do this on the right hand side because this is an equation, meaning that they say both sides are equal. So what you do on the left hand side, you have to do on the right hand side. So then we have 2 divided by 2. Then we are left with 1 multiplied by x. And then it's equals 4 divided by 2. And that gives us 2. So that's for our linear. Let's look at quadratic. So for quadratic, if given x squared x to the power 2 plus 2x equals 0, and I ask you to solve x. But what are they asking us? They're asking us what number when I multiply by itself twice and then I add 2 multiplied by that same number and it gives me 0. And we can use trial and error by guessing, and then we'll have x equals 0 or x equals minus 2. And you can actually check if these x values are correct by substituting it back in the original equation and seeing if it actually equals 0. So see if it makes the left hand side equals to the right hand side. And when you substitute it in, you'll see that you get that it also equals 0. But remember this method here, this one is basically guessing. And there's a better way to do this by using factorization. So what we do in this case, we factor out x, and then we are left with x plus 2 equals 0. That means we'll have x equals 0 or x plus 2 equals 0. But this one here, we don't have our x alone yet. So we have to get rid of this plus 2. And how we do that is we subtract a 2 here on the left hand side. So we're going to subtract 2 on the left hand side. So we're going to subtract 2 on the left hand side. And remember, what you do on the left hand side, you have to do on the right hand side. So because we subtracted a 2 there, we have to subtract a 2 on the right hand side as well. So we're going to write our equal sign, and then it's going to be 0 minus 2. So now we'll have our x alone this side because we have x plus 2 minus 2 is 0 equals, and 0 minus 2 equals minus 2. So that means for our quadratic equation we'll have x equals 0 or x equals negative 2. So now let's look at exponential. So say if given 2 to the power x equals 4, and they ask us to solve x. By using trial and error, we know that they are asking us how many times do I multiply 2 by itself to get 4, and that's going to be our x value. And we know 2 multiplied by 2 equals 4, right? And that means we have to multiply 2 twice by itself to get 4. So that means x equals 2, right? Because we have to multiply 2 by itself twice to make the equation equal, to make the left-hand side equal the right-hand side. But this is not the correct way to go about it, because that means if the exponential equation becomes complicated, you have to try different values to actually get your x values. So the best way to solve x for exponential equations is to always write everything in exponential notation. So we have 2a to the power x equals, but remember we can write this for as 2 to the power 2, right? So we write the 4 as 2 to the power 2, right? But remember there are these exponential rules that says that if you have an equation and your bases are the same, these are what they call the bases. So this that big value, and then these are the exponents here, these are the exponents, the x and the 2 here. So they say if your bases are the same, then you can just say the exponents are equal. So that means x will equal 2. So that's how you can go about solving equals 3. Okay. So in this case, log is basically answering to what power do I raise 2 to get x? And we know that answer is 3. So basically they're saying x equals 2 to the power 3, right? So that means our x equals 8.